A. Smith Show starts right.
The NBA Draft Lottery Show is tonight. Tonight is when the ping pong balls will bubble all inside that little tube, and we'll find out who's going to get the number one overall pick, which is undoubtedly, unquestionably, undeniably going to be Duke's Zion Williamson. That 6'7" dude, 280-plus pound Skywalker, man-child. In terms of physical specimen, the most dominant thing we have seen since LeBron James. These are facts. They cannot be disputed. John Moran is going to be something special. He's a consolation prize. He's a consolation prize. DeAndre Hunter, consolation prize. R.J. Barrett, consolation prize. Cam Reddish, consolation prize. There's only 2 prizes in this draft, and one undeniable, unquestionable prize that stands head and shoulders above them all. It is the physical freak that is Zion Williamson. And I'm here to tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. The New York Knicks are one of 3 teams with the best chance to land the number one overall pick. And I'm not that damn excited about it. I'm just telling you what I know. I'm very, very concerned. I'm very, very worried. I can't deny it to you. I'm just looking at the NBA's 2019 mock draft. You got Zion Williamson, John Moran, R.J. Barrett, Hachimura out of Gonzaga, DeAndre Hunter out of Virginia, Kobe White out of North Carolina, Jared Culver out of Texas Tech, Darius Garland out of Vanderbilt. I've heard good things about him. Jackson Hayes out of Texas. Of course, Cameron Reddish out of Duke. Nasir Little out of North Carolina. Bruno Fernando out of Maryland. Bruno Fernando. Now, I'm not knocking him. I'm quite sure the brother can play. Didn't see much of Maryland this year, but if I'm in the NBA and I'm drafting somebody named Bruno, I'm already at a loss. This ain't wrestling. Bruno Sammartino or somebody. Bruno, he better be good with a name like that. Let me say this to you. Why should I believe? I know that everybody wants me to be just the bastion of hope. But why should I be? These are the New York Knicks we're talking about here. Am I supposed to believe that in a league where once upon a time, if you were the worst team in the league, you had a 25% chance at the number one pick? And by the way, that team happened to win the last 4 lotteries. But in an effort to de-incentivize teams from tanking, the league gave the 3 worst teams an equal 14% shot at the right to draft the number one overall pick. And oh, by the way, let's look at these odds. Because see, as we're going to sit up here and we're going to talk about things quantitatively. We're going to talk about things problematically or probabilities. We're going to get into all of that. Let's look at this. The New York Knicks, the Cleveland Cavaliers, and the Phoenix Suns all have a 14% chance at landing the top pick and a 40.2% chance at landing the top 3 overall, or one of the top 3 picks. The Bulls are next in line at 4th with a 12.5% chance, along with 36.6% odds at the top pick. The Atlanta Hawks are number 5 at a 10.5% chance with a 31.6% shot at a top 3 pick. Then here comes the Washington Wizards, John Wall's team. A 9% chance with a 27.6% chance at a top 3 pick. Then you got the New Orleans Pelicans at a 6% chance at the number one overall pick, a 19% chance at a top 3 pick. The Memphis Grizzlies are next with a 6% chance and a 19% chance at a top 3 pick. They're tied with Dallas as well. also with a 6% chance at a 19% pick. And then there's the Timberwolves with a 3% chance at a 9.9% pick. The Los Angeles Lakers have a 2% chance at a top pick, a 6.7% chance at a top 3 overall pick. And then you have the Charlotte Hornets and the Miami Heat and the Sacramento Kings all tied at 1% for the top overall pick and a 3.4% chance at a top 3 overall pick. Ladies and gentlemen, why should I believe the New York Knicks are going to luck up and get Zion Williamson? Is it because Patrick Ewing's going to be on the podium? Is it because Patrick Ewing is going to sit in the place of Dave DeBusschere, who was seen pumping his fist when the New York Knicks landed the number 1 overall pick? Remember that? When they landed the number 1 overall pick in 1985? Now, Dave DeBusschere, God rest his soul, passed away at age 62 in 2003. Okay? He'll be a legend with the Knicks forever. He's one of the 50 greatest players in NBA history. He's a Hall of Famer and obviously delivered championships to the New York Knicks. Played alongside Willis Reed and Bill Bradley and Walt Frazier. Okay? We also beat the Lakers once in the finals. We get all of that. But he will forever be remembered in New York when he was the one on the podium, because he was the director of basketball operations for the Knicks during the 80s when they drafted Patrick Ewing first overall in 1985. And Dave DeBusschere was the one when it was announced that the Knicks would have the number 1 overall pick for that center out of Georgetown. He just pumped it, almost jumped out of his chair and pumped his fist. Ladies and gentlemen, Patrick Ewing is a great, great player. Patrick Ewing, excuse me, is somebody that is absolutely positively special. I love Patrick Ewing. Forever a Knick. Career 21 point per game scorer. Inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2008. Was a fabulous player. We'll always love Patrick Ewing. Patrick Ewing never delivered me a championship. Why should I believe he's going to deliver me ping pong balls that's going to give me the number 1 overall pick? Somebody's got to say it. Why am I to believe that he's going to be able to deliver me ping pong balls when he couldn't deliver me a championship? Albeit because I would love to say it was because Jordan was standing in his way. But remember, so was Akeem Olajuwon. He had 2 years while Jordan was gone. Didn't happen. One, they lost to Houston in Game 7, courtesy of John Starks' 2 for 18 performance. But Olajuwon, Akeem the Dream, was something special against Patrick Ewing. And then we know what happened the next year with the finger roll against Indiana that bounced out. So let's be very, very clear. Let's be very, very clear. I love Patrick Ewing. But if this is an effort to believe that the spirit of Dave DeBusschere and that experience from 1985 is going to descend upon the Knicks organization now, I'm sorry, I'm not buying it. And I'll gladly admit that I'm wrong. Because I love Patrick Ewing. And I love the Knicks. I mean, but what am I supposed to believe? I mean, what is next? You're going to tell me that James Dolan is going to sit up there and just descend his grace upon us? Am I supposed to believe this? Huh? I mean, this is, look, man, I am suffering. It's hard to take. How many years? I'm talking to you as listeners of this radio show as a native New Yorker, but I got to admit, Jonathan, John Winthrop, I'm talking to God himself. I need prayer. I need my prayers answered for just once. Please, please, please. Just one time when it comes to these Knicks. Last time the New York Knicks won a championship, I was 5 years old. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm 51. I was 5. I was 5. I was 5 years old. Do you understand the magnitude of my drama? And damn it, I'm not just talking about myself. I'm talking about New York Knicks fans everywhere. We have suffered. We have suffered. And I understand everybody's not a Christian. You got Muslims out there. You got Jewish folks out there. You got Catholics out there. You might have Buddhists out there, for crying out loud. Everybody pray. If you're a Knicks fan, it is time to come together and get on our collective knees and point to a source higher than ourselves and say, my goodness, for one time, good Lord, please, 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 let us get the number 1 overall pick, because the Knicks need something. Because if this doesn't happen, you know what's next, right? We're left. Because let me tell you something. Let me stop that. Let me stop. Let me reel in myself emotionally. I'm trying to be cool. It's just hard. I'm tired of suffering. I'm tired of suffering. I tell you something. If the New York Knicks don't get the number 1 overall pick, you know chances are they probably ain't going to get the top 3 either, right, John? One or two things are going to happen. Either the New York Knicks end up with the top 2 pick, and we're sitting there waiting, like salivating at the mouth for that one dramatic moment, okay? Either that happens, and then we get disappointed because somebody else ends up with the number 1 pick instead of the Knicks, or the New York Knicks really show you what life has been like in the James Dolan era when they end up falling out of the top 5. Because they got a 40% chance at a top 3 pick. They got a 14% chance at the number 1 pick, a 40% chance at the top 3 pick, a 60% chance at a top 5 pick. Best odds at 58%, a little bit more than 58% with the number 5 overall pick. How much y'all want to make a bet the New York Knicks end up with the number 5 pick or lower? Just to torture us. 5 is the lowest, I'm sorry. How much you want to make a bet that the New York Knicks, because they ain't going to go lower than 5. How much you want to make a bet that the New York Knicks end up with the 5th overall pick? This is what I'm praying won't happen. And I'm trying not to speak it to existence, but I'm trying to be honest with my listeners. And see, for me, I want Zion Williamson in one of 2 places. I want him in New York, or I want him in L.A. with LeBron. Because I love the Staples Center. I love L.A. And that 2% chance that the Lakers have of getting the number 1 overall pick, man, go for it. Get it. Get it. Please. Unless it's at the expense of the Knicks. I want the Knicks to get the number 1 overall pick. But if they can't get it, let the Lakers get it. I don't want Zion in Cleveland. God forbid he ends up in Phoenix. That's basketball. Please. We need him in a major, major, major television market. According to Forbes or whomever it is that wrote about it, Zion Williamson, the money that he would make in New York compared, I think Will Kane mentioned it on First Take this morning, my show on ESPN, every weekday morning from 10 a.m. to noon Eastern, 7 to 9 Pacific. I think Will mentioned that he stands to make 30 to 40% more money if he were in New York than if he were, say, in Atlanta. But here's the deal for me. I want him in L.A. if he can't be in New York. I want him in that kind of market. I want to see Zion Williamson on television. And I'm not talking about Sports Center, highlights. I want to see this. And this ain't about people that got the NBA package. Everybody can't afford it. Even though I would encourage you to get it if you can. This is about seeing this dude. Look, the basketball world is just a better place when Boston, New York, or LA or a combination of two of the three or all three are relevant. I throw Chicago in there too, but especially those previous three markets that I mentioned, LA, Boston, New York. And if the New York Knicks don't get Zion Williamson, y'all know where that leaves us, right? Y'all know where that leaves Knicks fans everywhere, right? Don't you know? It leaves us sitting around literally hoping and praying that Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving truly do end up coming to New York, which I'm told they will. It truly leaves us in that realm. And that is what, as much as, listen, if Zion doesn't come, but those two come, fine. New York Knicks will be fine, especially if they got John Moran as the consolation prize, because I like him. The problem is, if you don't get Zion, you don't know definitively what's going to happen with KD and Kyrie, which means that with the mercy, because you know what the New York Knicks are going to do, right? New York Knicks ain't going the second tier route. And I support that, by the way. They're going to go get Jimmy Butler, Tobias Harris, and people like that. If the New York Knicks can't get A-listers to come to New York, then they're just going to build through the draft. That's what they're going to do. And they're going to stay the course. And they've gotten okay. Steve Mills, Scott Perry, and those boys, they've gotten okay from James Dolan to do that. Because if you ain't going to land that box office attraction, if you're not going to land that superstar tier one dude that can fill the seats of Madison Square Garden with a degree of legitimacy we haven't seen really since Patrick Ewing has departed from New York, where does that leave you? Where does that leave you? That's what we're talking about here. And if you're the Lakers, let me tell you something right now. I tell you what would be very interesting. First of all, Zion Williamson is a no-brainer. And to me, Zion Williamson is an elevated version of Julius Randle, who the Lakers should not have lost. But having said that, I would like to say this. If the Lakers end up with Ja Morant, you know what I love about that? What you going to do with Lonzo? Because all of this noise about Lonzo, how much you want to make a bet the Lakers push him out the door the second they get the number 2 overall pick, you know it's going to be Ja Morant. And if they get Ja Morant, you think they're going to prioritize keeping Lonzo after that? So it's a whole bunch of interesting storylines potentially that are going to be out there. And I can't wait to discuss them. 888-SAY-ESPN. It's 888-729-3776. I am praying. Ladies and gentlemen, this show is nationwide. But damn it, I'm a native New Yorker. And I'm a diehard Knicks fan. And I've died hard on many occasions. Might as well call me Stephen Cat Smith. Because I got 9 damn lives. Because that's how many times the Knicks have killed me. Okay? This is what they do. And James Dolan, look, he disgusts me with his petulance towards fans. Can't take any damn criticism. Grown damn man acting like a child. Fan tells him, trade the team, he going to get the man thrown out of the garden. That's just petty. But I will say this. James Dolan has done a lot of good by quite a few people. He's very charitable and philanthropic. He's very giving to people that are employed by him. And the people who work for him swear by him in most instances. Maybe not all, but certainly most. And so when you look at it from that perspective, it doesn't matter whether you're white, black, or whatever the case may be, if James Dolan is fond of the work that you do for him, he takes care of you. Takes care of your families. James Dolan has been a very, very good man to a lot of people. My issue with him is that he is truly a child when it comes to absorbing criticism. He pouts visibly. He takes petty and unnecessary steps of retribution towards people he doesn't like. He needs to stop and grow up. But if it's true that he's left basketball operations to Steve Mills and Scott Perry, the New York Knicks have a chance. Except we're not interested in chances anymore. We're far more interested in results. And that's what the New York Knicks are going to have to deliver, and it will go a long way towards that if they get the number 1 overall pick tonight, something we all should be praying for, because I know I have. 888-SAY-ESPN. It's 888-729-3776. That was Straight Talk Wireless, everything for less, only at Walmart. Stick around. Don't touch that dial. Mark Stein, our NBA writer extraordinaire for the New York Times, former worker right here with ESPN. He'll be on the show with us to start off hour number 2. Looking forward to talking to him. But for now, I'll get to your calls and more in a minute. Sit around. Don't touch that dial. Got the Western Conference Finals Game 1 starting tonight at the Oracle between the Golden State Warriors and the Portland Trailblazers, by the way. Steph versus Dame. CJ versus Clay. All of that and more coming up. Don't touch that dial. It's the Stephen A. Smith Show. ESPN Radio, ESPN News. By the way, people, I'm here to tell you about Zelle, a quick and easy way to send and receive money right from your banking app. Not sure what to get someone for their birthday, graduation, or housewarming? Send them money with Zelle, a truly one-size-fits-all present so they can buy whatever they want. The money goes directly into their bank account, typically within minutes if they are already enrolled. With Zelle, so they don't have to wait long to spend it on the perfect gift for themselves. Look for Zelle in your banking app or get more info at ZellePay.com. Terms and conditions apply. This show and all of ESPN is streaming live on the ESPN app. Now with ESPN Plus, where you get more ESPN. Download the ESPN app today and take ESPN everywhere.